Hello my friends, welcome to the Electrek Viking. Thank you for subscribing to the channel and great to see you here. There's been a lot of new subscribers lately. Welcome aboard, fantastic to see you. Make sure you hit that little notification icon so you actually get my videos in your feed. Look at my feed, and right now I'm just getting all these trash videos. I've subscribed to people who I really like to watch their videos, and I don't know why, but their videos are not coming up in my feed. Some sort of wacky algorithm thing is going on. I'm just getting bombarded with garbage news. So I don't know what I've got to do. I've got to go through all my notifications, my subscriptions, and try and fix what the hell is going on there. So just make sure you click on that bell notification so you actually get the videos if you're subscribed to the channel, guys. Now, can General Motors do what they claim? Well, General Motors lately, let's be honest, they've become the king of press releases. Now, in the past, Elon would say a lot, it'd be turned into news, and it seemed as though Tesla was kind of the king of talk. But it seems lately Tesla's been delivering and GM has been talking. Talk. We will do this, we will do that. I think GM, we need to see more action, less talking. But are General Motors telling the truth? That is what is important. Or are they trying to pump up their stock? That's a smart move if you ask me. They could be doing both. Now, we already knew that General Motors had big plans for its electrified future, promising 30 new electric vehicles by 2025, which I believe is a huge mistake, and that they should stop that and focus on few core models the same way that Tesla has. But anyway, General Motors are not going to listen to me, unfortunately. Now, we've got some new interesting details about some of these EVs that General Motors are promising, revealed at the company's From Automaker to Platform Innovator Investor Day event just the other day. Now, the vehicle that I believe they should focus on is this very vehicle here that they released. They said they're going to make as an EV, the Chevy Equinox. Now, in addition to the Equinox, I believe they should focus on as well is the Silverado, electrifying all of their pickup trucks. That should be their first focus, their number one focus. That should be the market they take. Take it before it gets taken away from you. Once it gets taken away from you, remember, about 60% of new EV buyers, on average, are being poached from other brands. Ford said this, Volkswagen said this, multiple brands have admitted to this happening. So you don't want your bread and butter. That's where General Motors makes most of their margins, most of their cash from their pickup truck. You don't want to lose that. So focus on that first. Don't worry about making 30 different vehicles. Focus on maintaining your current customer base. And then they claim they're going to double their revenue somehow magically over the next few years through services, magical services. I don't know what those are. No one knows what they are. But anyway, I want General Motors to succeed in spite of my skepticism. And I really want them to provide a really good Chevy Equinox. But can they make one for $30,000 US, which is what they've claimed? In the United States, using NCMA battery chemistry, not lithium iron phosphate, NCMA, which we all know is more expensive than lithium iron phosphate. It's just a fact, the reality, regardless of what GM's press releases would like you to believe. Now, this is what General Motors said in their press release. GM plans to reach leadership in the EV market space in the United States while growing its profits from internal combustion engine vehicles. They sound schizophrenic, like they're confused. I'm going to read this again. GM plans to reach leadership in the EV market share in the US while growing its profits from internal combustion engine vehicles. I don't believe you can have your cake and eat it. Clearly they don't realize this. Now, how they plan to overtake Tesla? Well, they don't. It's a lie. They say that they plan for 1 million EV sales in 2025. Well, Tesla's already at 1 million this year. Tesla, I believe, will be at probably 4 to 5 million EV sales globally in 2025, probably maybe 1.5 million in the United States. The chances of General Motors overtaking them are zero because they're not planning for that. They're not planning on having enough battery deployment. They're planning on maybe 140 gigawatt hours of battery capacity, but most of that won't come online until 2026. So it's physically impossible based on General Motors' plans for them to actually overtake Tesla. Now, let's get back to the main point of this video, can they actually build a Chevy Equinox EV for $30,000 US? Yes, they can. In 2025? No, they cannot do that in 2025. physically impossible to do that in 2025 based on what they've said so far. It will have an NCMA chemistry, a bit built in the United States. Yeah, no. For $30,000, not happening unless it has a range of 50 miles. Sure, they could do that. They could bring this out, try to sell it with a range of 50 miles. But that's not going to happen. Of course, the base model, which was what they're talking about here for $30,000, will come with a minimum of 150 miles range, or nobody will want it. I'm thinking more like 200 miles range for the base model. And regardless of what General Motors is telling you, it's not possible for them to sell their batteries at a cheaper price than BYD. So General Motors is basically saying they're going to make their cars the same price or cheaper than BYD is, when BYD actually is the world's fourth largest battery manufacturer, the first in the world to reach $93 per kilowatt hour, or the $100 per kilowatt hour magic marker, which enables car manufacturers to sell their cars, their EVs, at a parity or cheaper in BYD's case versus ICE vehicles. Has GM done that? Well, they're sort of claiming they have, but we haven't seen any evidence that that's actually happened. They're saying that their new next generation Ultium batteries will reduce the cost of their batteries by 40%, but nobody knows what they actually pay for the batteries in the Bolt. But we do know that lithium iron phosphate batteries are significantly cheaper from every manufacturer in the world versus equivalent NCA or NCM batteries. It's just GM, I believe, honestly, they sound like Nikola lately. Some of the things that they're saying, they just don't stack up. Now, right now, GM is currently second only to Tesla in the United States for EV sales, albeit very far behind it, which is amazing considering they've stopped selling EVs. They don't sell any EVs right now at all, because they've obviously stopped sales of the Bolt to try and work out what is going on with the battery packs that are setting fire. So how does it plan to not only catch up with Tesla, but overtake it? It aims to do so apparently by accelerating the pace of EV launches in the coming years, with new models including the Equinox and the Blazer electric crossovers, plus an entry-level EV, plus of course a pickup truck EV. Now, this announcement that they're going to sell an Equinox EV for $30,000 was made during the Investor Day presentation by General Motors President Mark Roos, who said that Chevrolet would launch an electrified version of the Equinox with a $30,000 price tag. He said the Chevrolet crossover you see up here, but it wasn't shown on camera, is an Equinox EV or the equivalent. It's an Equinox EV or the equivalent. I'm confused, but anyway, and is part of our 30 EVs by 2025. This Chevy will be a high volume player when it arrives, priced at approximately $30,000. Now, no additional information was offered, but this is pretty big news considering the targeted price and the fact that the Equinox is currently GM's second best-selling vehicle behind the Silverado truck. Now, in addition to that, he said, we have a Blazer EV that will be an affordable, high-volume entry as well, and we're working on something else even below those from a price standpoint, but we aren't prepared to discuss the details of that quite yet. Mark Roos, General Motors President. Now, Roos didn't mention the Blazer EV's price, but it will likely be more expensive than the smaller Equinox EV. Well, of course it will be more expensive. It's bigger. Makes sense, right? As for the new, as yet unnamed entry-level Chevrolet EV, I assume he was referring to something in the $20,000 range, as the Bolt currently starts at US $31,000. So apparently they're going to sell a significantly bigger vehicle, the Equinox, for less money. Yeah, maybe. Who knows? GM's EV growth, including the aforementioned models, will be driven by the Ultium modular EV platform, the company said in a press release that also mentioned Buick crossovers. Quote, the array of Ultium-powered EVs will include high-volume entries, including a Chevrolet crossover priced around $30,000, Buick crossovers, trucks from Chevrolet, GMC, and Hummer EV, as well as exquisitely crafted Cadillac EVs, such as the upcoming Lyriq and Celestiq. Don't know if I pronounced that right, but you get the picture. Now, driven by the launch of these new electric models, General Motors projects EV revenue to grow from about $10 billion in 2023 to $90 billion annually by 2030. In addition, General Motors outlined plans for more than 50% of its North America and China manufacturing footprint to be capable of EV production by 2030. And that's a big red flag. They're saying around about, GM actually said that 50% of their cars, I think 40 to 50% would be electrified in America by 2030. And the other 50 to 60% wouldn't be, which means, in other words, General Motors have a whole big problem there. But let's not focus on that because that will probably change. General Motors will probably wake up to the idiocy behind that statement and realize that no one wants a vehicle that is shit or inferior for more money in 2030. So let's just assume that they'll wake up to that and try to pivot by 2030 and have all of their vehicles electrified. But the key issue here, I believe, is can they build an Equinox EV for $30,000 US? I'm skeptical because, of course, US manufacturing does cost more than it does in China. It's just a fact. It is for everyone, for Tesla, for everyone else. But I really hope General Motors can actually pull this off because this would be very, very important for American manufacturing stability. So, General Motors, if you're listening, 30 models, scrap that. 10 is more than enough. You can succeed with 10. In fact, you're more likely to succeed with 10. That's my tip. Thanks for watching the video, my friends. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.